Yeah, I mean for sure. I think though, Michael Penix has played so well in the preseason that they've shut him down for the rest of the preseason because they don't know if Kirk Cousins is going to be
You
ready.
know, T the preseason though.
It
Her
matters.
window's gonna
It,
be
it
closing. Her
matters.
window's gonna be closing so fast during the regular season. I
Listen,
don't.
we got to get our rankings in. Dub, when it comes to the NFC South, who do you have at the number one position?
I feel as if the NFC South is a toss up, and surprisingly, Tampa Bay showed us some things last season unexpectedly. I didn't think that Baker Mayfield was going to perform at the level that he did last year.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think the defense was going to be that solid, but they had if I'm not mistaken, a playoff team. They had a
They
playoff team.
did. They won the division.
Yeah. So with that being said, ah, I might have to go Nola at one, and
Okay.
that's
Okay.
because my birthday twin is under the helm or at the helm. Derek Carr, March the 28th. So that's my birthday twin. And I definitely think that he has some more left in the tank. And I think this would be a prime opportunity for Spencer Rattler just to kind of learn and observe and get seasoned a little bit before they throw him in the fryer and start letting him cook. Because a lot of people are making a comparison between him and Patrick Mahomes. I don't quite see it, but most analysts are. So maybe they see something that I can't see. But I do foresee him being a very successful NFL quarterback. I just think he needs a little bit more seasoning before he goes out there and be a full time starter. So I got Nola, Tampa, Dirty Birds, Carolina.
Okay, 1 through 4. That's pretty simple. So if I go through mine, at number one, I have the Atlanta Falcons. I think when you look at the
Wow.
receiving core, when you look at the defense and how well they played last year against some really good teams, you bring in a new head coach who's going to reinvigorate that energy. You have one of the most dynamic backs in the league in Bijan Robinson, who's coming into his second year and is only going to play better. Kyle Pitts at tight end, like I said, receiving core with Drake London. Whether Penix is under center or you have Kirk Cousins, I think either way you're going to have guys that have experience. Penix has years of experience in college from his time in Indiana, from his time in Washington. So I think he's ready to play. And with the pieces around him, it won't be a lot of pressure on him. And then if Kirk Cousins come in, you know what you get out of Kirk Cousins. So I got the Atlanta Falcons at number one. At number two, I am going to go. Woo, it's tough. I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield gets a lot of flack for, just his overall ability and, the fact that he was a Heisman Trophy winner. And for some seasons, it didn't quite work out. But if you look at it, every team that Baker Mayfield's been a part of, he brings a new energy. He pretty much protects the ball. I don't think you see as many turnovers now later in his career. He did great with the Buccaneers last year. I think he's only going to do better in this next season with the team. Number three, I got to go with the New Orleans Saints. So I think the New Orleans Saints, even though I have them at number three, this is a division similar to the AFC East, and that all of the teams are going to be bunched right in there together. None of the teams in this division are going to be 12-4. I mean, excuse me, 12-5. At best, you might get the Falcons at 10-7, but I think it's going to be really tight in terms of the records in the NFC South, and it's going to be back and forth between teams. But I got the New Orleans Saints. I like Chase Young as an addition. I like Tyrann Mathieu being back in that secondary. Again, you still have Jordan. You still got a lot of those great pieces, and you got some really good receivers on the team as well. For my Carolina Panthers, I think we'll make leaps and bounds over what we were able to do last year in Bryce Young's rookie season. Xavier Legette is going to be 1,000-yard receiver. Jonathan Brooks, when healthy, will add another dimension to an already solid backfield. And I think defensively, with the healthy J.C. Horn, this team is going to get to at least 6, 7 wins on the season, which I think is a win and an improvement over where we were last year. So those are my picks for the NFC South.
So here's my retort to your breakdown. With the Atlanta Falcons, there's just a big question mark surrounding Kirk Cousins, right? They
Mhm.
pay him all this money because of his, track record and what he's been able to do during the regular season, because that hasn't necessarily translated over to the off season like the Vikings would had expected, hence him being in Atlanta. So that, and then the Achilles, and so will he be ready for the start of the season? Now you got new head coach. I don't know, man. I think there's some key pieces that are there, but I just don't see them winning the division. I just think there's a lot more stability in Nola. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think, though, Michael Penix has played so well in the preseason that they've shut him down for the rest of the preseason because they don't know if Kirk Cousins is going to be
You
ready.
know, T, the preseason though.
It
One
matters.
window's gonna
It,
be
it
closing. One
matters.
window's gonna be closing so fast during the regular season. I
Listen,
don't
they're
know.
closing just as fast when you're going against the ones in the preseason. And that's what
The
he's
one's
done.
not
He's won against the
100% right
ones.
now.
What was that?
The one's not 100% right now.
I would
They
hope
still
they're 100% in the season starting two
like
weeks.
they're still getting in shape. So I don't know. Well, I
We'll
hope the young
see.
brother does his thing, but I would hate to see him out there, man. Like first game of the season, he can handle it, but I want him to sit behind Kirk Cousins a little bit and just watch it all unfold.
Listen, if Kirk Cousins is out there, I think this team is a team is this a playoff team and could potentially go to the divisional round. If Kirk Cousins is not out there, I think Michael Penix will be able to hold it down enough that they're still in the running for the division until Kirk Cousins can play. Because again, you dumping it off to Bijan Robinson out the backfield, he's making plays. All he's got to do is dink and dunk, and they have the playmakers that can put points on the board. So it's going to be interesting to see. NFC South is going to be exciting football
Yep. Yeah, they got some good skill players. I would say that for sure. Yep.
for sure. For